Hi there. Today's mini lecture for this module is on the U.S. budget. Wow, what a fascinating topic, but I think you're going to like it. It's quite interesting, and when you hear all the news about the U.S. budget and what we should do and what our policies should we be spending more money or spending less money or raising taxes or lowering taxes, I think if you get a good grounding in the U.S. budget and the budgetary process, this is going to mean so much more to you. After all, it's your money, and you need to tell policymakers how you want it spent. That's what democracy is all about. I guarantee you they're going to spend it one way or another, so have a say in that. But let's look at some terms here. The U.S. budget as of 2010, and we'll use this year, was $3.55 trillion. Trillions, gosh, how much is a trillion? You can't even conceive it. In this budget, we have a deficit of $1.3 trillion. And of course, the word deficit means the amount of money that you take in as opposed to the amount of money that you spend. So when you have a deficit in your own budget, you are spending more than you're taking in. Your expenditures are exceeding your revenues. And that is true in the United States. In fact, since 1970, we have run a deficit in our budget every single year except 4 years, and that was 1998, 99, 2000, and 2001. We had a relatively balanced budget at that time. But since 1970 and since 2001, we have run a deficit every single year. It matters not whether we have a Republican or Democratic president. We still run a deficit. We're spending more than we're taking in. When you add up all the deficits together in all the years of the United States, we have a national debt. So our national debt is $12.98 trillion. Again, a figure that really doesn't mean very much to us because it's so astronomical. You might want to look and do some Googling and figure out, how much is a trillion and what does this figure actually mean to you. It's just amazing. Now, when you look at a budget, let's get back to the simplest elements of a budget. You have a revenue, how much money you're taking in, and expenditures, how much money you're paying out. Since we're paying out more than we are taking in, let's look at B, expenditures first. Our big expenditure items are in defense, and we're running 2 wars. Very, very, very expensive with lots and lots of military people and lots of weapon system. Incredibly expensive. So defense, Social Security. In the domestic area, Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are your big 3. And I can add a 4th one to that, veterans benefits. We spend a tremendous amount on veterans benefits. There's a huge lobby for veterans in the country. No congressman wants to turn down veterans because they've served their country honorably. So expenditures, and then we have a number of programs that are called entitlements. And entitlements would be Social Security. If you've paid into Social Security through your check a number of quarters, 40 quarters, you are entitled to Social Security once you retire, or once you get to be 62 or 65 for full entitlement. Let's say that you're a multimillionaire or a billionaire. You're still entitled if you've paid in the 40 quarters. Medicare, if you've paid into Medicare when you turn 65, you're entitled to it. Medicaid, if you meet certain criteria for Medicaid, you're entitled, and so forth. So these entitlements make up almost half of the entire U.S. budget. If you've contributed, if you meet all the requirements, you are entitled to that. Let's look at revenues. The largest source of revenue are personal income taxes. We all pay that. And they make up about 43% of the budget. And then Social Security, which are payroll taxes, which are deducted from your paycheck, that makes up about 42%. And I have written 2 words out here, progressive taxes and regressive taxes. This is in your text, but be sure you know this. A progressive tax is like an income tax. The more money you make, the more money you pay. The less money you make, the less money you pay. It is progressive. It hurts the poor less. But a Social Security or payroll tax is an example of a regressive tax. it doesn't matter. You contribute it based on your wages, and it really hurts the poor more than it hurts the rich, because we collect payroll taxes up to about $90,000, and anything above that, if you make a lot more than that, they don't even take any money out. So it's going to hit people below $90,000 a lot more than very wealthy people, a regressive tax. Then we have some corporate taxes, corporate income taxes, that make up about 6.6% of the budget. And excise taxes, like taxes on fuel, alcohol, and tobacco, about 3% of the budget. So that's the money that's coming in and the money that's going out. So that explains, I think, a little bit about deficits, debt, and the budget. See you next time.